Welcome back to another episode of Carson's Aquatics, and welcome to episode 3 of this pond rebuild series. And right off the bat, I just want to say it is a windy day, so if the audio isn't the greatest, I apologize. But anyway, at the end of the last pond video, I showed you guys how the skimmer and the pump work, and I mentioned how I was just waiting on this tubing to come in, and it did come in. So I moved the skimmer and pump back over to where they're like gonna be regularly, and then I moved the output end of the tubing over where the main waterfall is gonna be, just to get an idea of how the flow is gonna be, and it looks awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and plug it in and show you guys. Boom. So yeah, that's about where the main waterfall is going to be, and it's already done a great job of pushing all the floating stuff and leaves over into the skimmer. That right there is going to keep this pond so clean. I am so excited about it. And also I got curious, so I put the hose into the back of the waterfall box just to see how the flow is actually going to be. It's just incredible. You guys will see it later in this video, because today we are focusing on this right here, the mini pond. I don't really remember exactly how much I talked to you guys about the mini pond in the past pond videos, but I'll just give you guys an overview real quick. So last year, if you remember, I tried to have this little area in the waterfall where the water would pool up, but I didn't make it nearly deep enough or wide enough, and I didn't want to do that again this year. I want this thing to be like big enough to where we can keep fishing here, and I would actually like this to be like a bait pond. Like I want to breed guppies and minnows in here where I can literally just scoop them out and toss them in for the fish in the pond. So that is what we're going to do with this, and that's all we're really going to focus on for this video. So I'm going to dig the waterfall going to the main pond from the mini pond. I'm going to dig out the hole where the waterfall box is going to be, which is going to be like somewhere up there. I'm going to throw the liner on there, fill it up, and see how much flow comes out of the main waterfall. And after I see how that looks, I may even put in an additional mini waterfall on the backside right here. And then if we can get all that done, we're also going to rock the mini pond. Like I want this thing to be completely done, but we're just going to see how far we can get. So the first thing I need to do is just dig what I need to dig. Alrighty guys, so as you saw there, I just went ahead and dug out the main waterfall. You can see I did 3 different ledges, so we can hopefully get like 3 different actual waterfalls. And then I also dug the hole for the waterfall box, and I left a bunch of extra room in the back, first of all for the tubing to go in so it can like bend around, because up here I'm gonna have the liner all the way up here, because the flow in the pump is so strong that this actually overflows a little bit, so I want that to overflow into the liner, which will then move it into the mini pond. So now what I'm gonna do is cut off the extra liner over here, and I'm gonna do that because I wanna use that as our underlayment for the mini pond. And I'm just gonna leave this extra portion on, because that actually can be the underlayment for the main waterfall. And then if we do decide to do the mini waterfall, it can be the underlayment for that as well. So we're gonna leave all this extra stuff here, but I'm gonna cut all this extra liner off. Alright guys, so as you just saw there, I went ahead and threw the underlayment in the mini pond, and while I was at it, I just threw the main liner in there as well. So this mini pond is ready to start filling, and that's what we're gonna do right now. Alright guys, the mini pond is just about full, and it's starting to dump into the pond. Oh man, that is awesome. Oh my gosh, dude, look at the waterfall, and it's still getting stronger as the pond fills up. Oh, that is awesome. So I was considering having like a secondary waterfall coming through here, and I'm glad I didn't dig that out, because I'm actually not gonna have another waterfall. I wanted to see how much flow was coming out of this first one before I did that, and I'm actually happy with this. I don't want to make another waterfall and take away from the flow of the main waterfall, so we're just gonna leave it at one waterfall for now. Maybe eventually we can always add one on, but that's how it's going to be for now. This is so cool. It's turning out exactly how I wanted it. Look at the amount of flow, by the way. That is so much. But yeah, this is just looking amazing. And look at our skimmer over there, hard at work. Look how much it cleaned up the pond already. There's barely any more of those pink little flower things in here. Now that the flow is on the right side of the pond, that skimmer is doing its job. And I think I'm just about done for the day. It's going to be getting dark here pretty soon. This was a major progress day. And with that being said, I will see you tomorrow. Alrighty guys, so it is definitely not the next day. It's actually been about a week now. I've just been busy lately, but today I'm free, and I'm gonna make myself busy here on this pond. And today we are gonna start rocking this pond. You can actually see I was just messing around with some stuff right here. And I also threw a flat rock on top of the waterfall box. So you can kind of see what I wanna do. I'm gonna have a flat rock on like each little shelf here that the water can flow over. And then I'll have these like medium-sized rocks lining the whole thing. I'm gonna need some like larger rocks for the actual mini pond. So today I wanna get like all the mini pond and the waterfall completely rocked. And then overnight, I'm gonna turn the waterfall off and let everything dry out so that tomorrow I can add this foam sealant to the waterfall and wherever else I need to. This is just expanding foam that you like put in the gaps of the rocks. For example, you can see how some water is actually flowing under this flat rock, and we're gonna want all of it to flow over it. So I'll take this spray foam and spray it in like under that rock so the water's forced to go over. But yeah, we'll be messing with this stuff tomorrow. Today, like I said, I just want to get this whole mini pond completely rocked. And for that, we have this huge pile of big rocks right over there, then some like medium and small rocks right here, and then a bunch of gravel in these buckets. This is the larger stuff. And then we have some smaller gravel over here in this container. And I'm super excited to get started. After today, we're gonna get a real good idea of how this pond is gonna end up looking. And with that being said, I'm just gonna set this camera down, set my GoPro time lapse up, and get to work. Alrighty guys, it's been a while, probably close to an hour, and all the big rocks are in place in the mini pond. And it took so long because this was literally like putting together a big puzzle. You just have to keep moving stuff around until everything fits together perfectly. But yeah, like I said, we got all these big rocks in place, and then I kind of started on the waterfall too. And then I also put a few rocks in the pond itself. You can see I put that flat rock over the cave, and then one on top of that, and then a couple by the waterfall. And I'm definitely gonna have to go get a lot more big rocks because most of the stuff I have is like real thick and wide. Like you can see, that would take up a ton of space in the pond, and we want to get big ones that are like flat so we can just set them up along the wall like that. So it'll do its job of covering the liner, but it'll still leave plenty of space for like water in the pond itself. So I think tomorrow I am going to run and go get some more big flat rocks, but there is still one more thing I want to do today, and that is put some gravel in the mini pond. And we're going to take some big to like medium sized rocks, even some stuff in there, and kind of just put it in the cracks around the perimeter of the pond just to fill in these empty gaps. You can see I already put one back there and one right there. We're just going to do that, but first I'm going to put some gravel into the mini pond. Alrighty guys, then check that out. Oh my gosh, dude, it is really coming together. I told you guys it was going to. And now just imagine mulch right up to that rock line. It's going to look so good. And you can see I kind of stopped at the first ledge of the waterfall. I couldn't really find any rocks that really fit on the other ledges. You can see this one right here works pretty well, and it'll work even better whenever we put that expandable foam under it. But for the other two ledges right there, I couldn't really find one that I like really liked. And those are going to be main points of the waterfall, so I want to make sure I get it right the first time. And like I said, I'm going to go get plenty more rocks tomorrow. I'm going to get way more than I need, just so I have a lot to choose from. And then yeah, like I mentioned a couple times, we are going to use that expandable foam in the gaps to get all the water flowing exactly where we want it to. We're going to finish rocking the waterfall, and if we have time, we're going to rock the pond. And that may or may not be in this video. This video is mainly based on the mini pond and the waterfall, but yeah, this pond is definitely coming along. Here's one last look for now at the mini pond, and that is the perfect size for some like bait fish, some guppies, some minnows, or we can go another direction. We can put like actual fish we care about in there, like some smaller goldfish, some mollies, some platies. I don't know, we can do whatever. And I just cannot wait to continue working on this pond, but that's all we can really do today until we get more rocks. And with that being said, I'll see you tomorrow. Alrighty guys, so it is the next day. My buddy Miles is on his way over, and we may or may not go get some more rocks tonight. I actually got the idea to go check the woods behind my house because we do have a little creek that runs through back there. And as you can see right there, I actually got quite a few rocks that should be about perfect for the waterfall. They are all pretty muddy, so I'm gonna go grab the hose and rinse them all down. And then we're just gonna continue rocking the waterfall and hopefully get it all done. Alrighty guys, so it is quite a while later. By the way, Miles is here once again. Thank you for helping out.
No, thank you.
You're welcome. But anyway, we went ahead and finished rocking the waterfall. You can take a look at it from over here. You can see we have 3 flat rocks at the end of every level. We kind of have like 3 different waterfalls. And I mentioned earlier in this video that foam sealant that I got, and I'm going to be using that tomorrow. Today I just wanted to get all these rocks in place so I know how the water flows and where I actually need to put that foam sealant. So now I'm actually going to turn the waterfall off, leave it off overnight, let everything completely dry out so that tomorrow I can put that foam sealant on there with everything dry, and then we'll let that foam dry and then turn the waterfall back on and see how it looks. But yeah, now I'm going to turn off the waterfall, and then I'll see you in the morning. Alrighty guys, it is now the next day, and like I said, I'm just going to use this expandable foam and seal up the waterfall. And I'm going to start up here with this rock. A lot of water from the mini pond actually flows under this rock and seeps up through here, and we want all of that going right over the top. So I'm going to take our spray foam and put plenty down in here. And be real generous with it. We can always cut stuff later after it dries. Oh, and I should say, if you guys are using this stuff, do not touch it. Do not get this stuff on your hands because it will not come off. But now I'm going to put this gravel back in place over here to cover that up. There we go. Now we're going to do the same with these 3 rocks as well. And yeah, there we go. All the foam is in place, and you can see a lot of it starting to like seep up through the rocks, and that's fine. Again, once it completely dries, we can cut it away and it'll like blend in with the rocks really well. And all these gaps are full. The water should flow perfectly over everything, but we're gonna let this dry for at least a few hours. It said it takes like 12 to 24 hours for it to completely cure, but it should be good later tonight, and we can turn the waterfall back on and see how everything looks. So I'll see you then. Alrighty guys, so it is the next day. I decided to just give the foam a full day to cure before I started messing with it. And here's a look at it. You can see it actually expanded quite a bit, definitely more than I expected it to. And I will say that I wish I would have just like left the gravel off of the foam while it was still wet. As you can see, this is gonna be like kind of difficult to, you know, maneuver the knife in there and cut all the excess stuff off. I wish I would have just taken the gravel out, let the foam dry so I could just make one clean cut and then put the gravel back over to cover it. But that's not what I did, so we're gonna have to deal with it. It shouldn't be too bad though. We're just gonna go in there with my knife and cut off all this excess foam. Alrighty guys, I've got all the foam cut. It's looking pretty good. I'll probably sprinkle in some gravel in a couple of these areas where you can still see the foam, but also when the water's flowing, it'll be really hard to see anyway. But now I'm gonna turn on the pump, see how everything flows. Hopefully it's exactly how it should be. Being everything straight over the top, we should get a lot of flow going over these waterfalls, and it should look really cool. So let's plug it in. There it goes. Mini pond is filling up, and it's about to start flowing into the waterfall. There it goes, and into the pond. Oh, look at it. Oh, that is perfect. Hold up. Look at that waterfall. That is beautiful. The only problem is we have a little bit of a leak, like right back here. The water's flowing behind this wall of rocks, but that's an easy fix. I can just go in with that spray foam in these areas and just force it all to go this way. And that's what I'll do. I'll just do that off camera. But other than that, that is like a perfect looking waterfall. That is awesome. And that is going to wrap up this video. The mini pond and the waterfall are done. And now all that's left to do is just rock the pond, bury this tubing, and then put mulch in all these surrounding areas, which we actually did right over there, so you can start getting an idea of what that's going to look like. It is going to be amazing. But anyway, today's comment of the day goes out too, and if you want your comment to be the comment of the day in the next video, all you got to do is drop a comment down below, and that could happen. And if you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, and I'm going to see you in the next video.